This is B and Max Talks with the word of the week over week.
What's going on, ladies and gents? It's episode 4, season 2, B and Mac Talks. This week, we're talking about influence. Are you an influencer? Do you consider yourself to be an influence to the people around you and to society? This week, we're talking about influence. B, what's up, bro?
What's up, bruh? And what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ben Mac Talks, and we glad to have you back. And you heard them. We talking about influence. How y'all feel about that? We gonna talk about it. Let's get to it. You ready, brother?
Man, I'm ready, bro. Kick us off.
Influence. Let's start, bro. So, I guess you could say the formal definition of influence is like the ability to like be able to affect your character, right? But me, when I think about influence, I think about inspiring and like impacting, right? It can impact your surrounding, it can impact your future, it can impact you in the present, right? So that's when I think about influence. And it's a broad topic because influence can be used in so many ways. You have influencers, you have people that be influenced by like a thing, like a painting on the wall. That can be an influence. Or you got people that's influenced by an NBA player, something like that. So it's about how it could be positive or negative, but it's about what you desire to be like and what are you inspired by. And that's what influence means to me. What about you, bro?
That's it, bro. See, influence is such a powerful word. Like, it has the power to motivate that person that wants to be that NBA star, like you mentioned. If I want to be LeBron James and I want to dunk like him, that means I have to get up off that couch and I have to put in the reps to be LeBron James. He inspires at a different level, right? Because he is where you want to be. That's that inspiration piece that you want. But also, you have influencers from people that are barbers or in the cosmetology world where they can teach you how to cut hair. It's at this point in our lives, technology has grown so much, and influencers are all around us. You can go to YouTube, you can go to Instagram, you can go to TikTok, and you can learn how to braid. You can learn how to twist locks. You can learn how to do almost anything because the power of technology. But that comes down to the person first, how that person developed themselves to be that inspiration to others. How did that person build themselves up, start from the bottom themselves to be able to influence these different individuals that we now have access to? That's how you affect people in a positive way. But that's what the real meaning of an influencer is: being able to inspire, motivate, teach, and affect in multiple ways.
Yeah, bro, you're right. Being able to inspire, teach, and affect, right? Whether it's good or bad, it's positive influences and it's negative influences. What are you influenced by, right? So ask yourself that. Is it going to help you? It's going to impact your lifestyle regardless for your future and the lifestyle that you surround yourself with. So that's what I think of when I think of influence, whether it's good or bad, right? So we want to be mindful how much it impact our lifestyles by what are we influenced by, right? So I just wanted to highlight that though, bro.
That's it. Yeah, that's true. 100%. Because we can be impacted negatively or positively. I like how you shed light to the negative piece because 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33 says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character." I'm going to say that again. Bad company corrupts good character. So that goes back to the piece that we've all heard when we grew up. You're a product of your environment. Not saying that you are a victim of it because you can change your environment, right? But they say if you want to be rich, you get around rich people. You want to be smart, you get around smart people. You want to be negative, guess what? You're going to be listening and scrolling all day on negativity. And let's shed light to those things that nobody like to talk about. That's talking about porn. That's talking about us males liking to look at booty on Instagram all day long. Those different things that nobody like to talk about. Same thing for women, vice versa, switch the roles. I ain't sure exactly what women like to look at, but those things that nobody really want to talk about, those are the things. Those are those negative pieces. If you scrolling all day or you taking all your time looking at those things, that could be negative for you. It just depends on what you see as negative. But we can change our environment to be positive. That's why we're here, and I'm sure you're listening. So we could be that positivity. Like, think about in our day-to-day actions. It's not just social media, but we can shed light not only on social media. We can not only influence on the social media platforms, but no, we can do it in our day-to-day interactions. Like, think about if you have kids, how are you raising your kids to be able to Or how are you setting an example for your kids to lead or to follow after? You need to lead by example, by shedding good and positive energy so your kids can also say, hey, this was an adverse time that my father or my mother went through, and he handled it really well. He was in traffic, she was in traffic, and she wasn't cursing at the car in front of her or behind her. She had got set back on her bills, and she didn't get frustrated and start cursing or taking out on anybody else. Guess what? People around you, your children, and all these different people that you have in your life can see that and say, wow, that's a good person to follow after. And what is that? That's the power of influence. It always come back to that's how powerful influence is. You can influence people in so many different aspects, but it starts with you. It starts from within. You have to have the characteristics to be able to be that positive piece for the world to see, that light in the darkness. Influence.
Yeah, bro, that's major, bro. But I want to take a moment and I want to go back and look at that scripture that you mentioned, right? Let's look at that, you guys. It's one thing, it's a saying that came to me when as soon as I saw it, right? So the saying is wrong place, wrong time, right? You ever heard of that? I'm pretty sure you have, right? So what it mean to me is you could be a good individual and have good, influence and be the best person to be around and have the best personality, but you can make a bad decision and be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that decision that you made can ruin your reputation, right? So that's why I want y'all to know like the power and the impact of, what are you influenced by in every moment and how quick things could change, right? So that's the power of that influence, right? So we want to be mindful of that. And I wanted to just touch back on that, bro. And it just caught me, it hit me and I just had to mention that, bro.
Yeah, you're correct. Because you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time and have this influence, and your reputation that you did have as that good individual, as that positive individual, has been shattered because of the environment that you're in. So let's just make sure that we're surrounding ourselves and we are being that light. And even if we in a bad situation where we do understand this is negative, make sure our conscience is on and saying, maybe I shouldn't be here because this may not be the best for me, right? Like understanding like we don't want to tarnish all the work and all the hours that we put in on developing this influence that I have in so many different people. We want to make sure we keep shedding that light of positivity, man. And it, like I said, it's positive and negative. So we not just negative because as an influencer, I mean, think about the positives, man. You can make some good money. We talked about it. We can teach, we can inspire, but you can make some good money, man. You can have people because it's like mental health specialists. You can have people in the mental health field. You could talk about physical health. You could talk about your nutrition because that's big for me. Like mental health, physical health, nutrition, and wealth. Those are the things that I like to push. And mindset. Those are the things I like to push in my day to day. I want people to have a great mindset. Start with your mindset. Start with your characteristics. Next, we go into nutrition, health, and then we get into wealth. Those are like the foundations to relieving a lot of stress in people's lives. And I think that that's how you have that's the foundation that you need, or some of those characteristics to being able to have that influence of positivity.
And that's another episode of Being Mac Talks, you guys. And we hope you guys stayed for the whole show. And we'll see you guys next time.
Deuces.